We're on a Weebaholic podcast. Let's go. Today we have a special guest. Please introduce yourself, man.
What's up? My name's T-Rai. I make Naruto videos. That's it.
bad. Simple as you can find it. So before we get an episode, remember to like, comment, subscribe, turn notification for notified for all the podcast guys. Subscribe. We're almost at 1K subs. Come on, help a brother out. So before we get the episode, follow us on Anime Gen Show, all podcasts and platforms. You can follow us on YouTube or subscribe on Anime_Gen Show, Twitter, Anime_Gen Show, and TikTok, Anime_Gen Show. You can follow my co-host at eyes.offthe.lens for his photography page, and on Twitch and his Instagram at rncdark. That was a mouthful. Yes. So before we get into the episode, we're going to do a villain tier list thing. Before we get into the episode, though, we want to ask our guests the question we ask everybody. How did you get into anime? What age were you, if you remember? And yeah, how did you get into anime? And what anime was it?
Okay, so I mean, I think this kind of goes for everybody, where it's like Pokemon and like Yu-Gi-Oh and stuff were like kind of the first things that people started watching, but like I didn't know it was anime, you know. I thought it was just another cartoon because I was a little kid. So, and it's not like I watched it like in order or anything. It's just something that came on. So I wouldn't really count that. But when I was in grade 5, I was 10 years old, and some kid came in the classroom one day and he's like, "Yo, let me show you this thing. It's called Naruto. It's really sick." So yeah, it all started there, which is downhill from there. Obsessed. I've been watching Naruto ever since I was 10 years old. So yeah. And of course there's Dragon Ball and stuff like that I was a little bit into. But
if you remember, what was it, Naruto Shippuden when you started watching?
No, it was I think Shippuden started in 2007 and it was 2005. So we were nearing. Itachi had been introduced. I know that he had just been recently introduced when I first started watching. So that was like back before we even knew that Itachi was like a villain. He was like, or we knew that he was a good guy. So we thought he was like this big bad villain. We had no idea. But yeah, it was around that time.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Now I have to ask you this. This is a question I have two more. I know I have 2 questions, but now I have 3. We talk about this all the time. Which one, in your opinion, is better? Naruto OG or Naruto Shippuden? I OG Naruto better.
I like part 1 better. Yeah, I do too.
Okay,
I prefer like the lower scale ninja fights rather than like because I feel like in the end of Shippuden it started to get closer to like Alien. Dragon Ball Z, Alien, stuff like that. Yeah. I was more of a fan of like the low key like strategical ninja combat that came with part 1.
So realistic part of anime.
Yeah.
And now my last little question: how did you get into becoming an anime YouTuber, man?
So it's funny actually. When I first started making videos, it was a Minecraft channel. I wanted to make Minecraft videos, and I was making tutorials and like world tours and stuff like that. And then I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna make gaming videos in general. So then I was just making and this is like for like a good like couple of years, I was making gaming videos and it just wasn't going anywhere. So I was just like, I need to do something else. And I was always into anime, but I wasn't like putting that on my channel at all. And then I decided to start playing anime video games, and then that was cool. And then I was like, you know what, let's just go full send and just make anime and manga content. And that's what I did. And then it went from anime and manga content in general to just like specifically focusing down on Naruto as a niche. And I found that actually helped my channel grow when you focus specifically on a certain niche. Okay. So yeah, that's how I ended up here. I've been all over the place on YouTube.
You have any questions for me, Sheik? I'm ready.
Yeah, I was about to say not. That's it.
All right, let's get into the tier list. I'm gonna share my screen with you, and we're gonna get this started.
So wait, you said this was the villain tier list that Swag put out? Funny, yeah. I actually made a video using this same tier list, so I've done this. Wow. I've done this before.
I should did my research on you. I've never heard.
But to be fair, my opinion has changed probably quite a bit since I made that video, so.
Wow. Okay, that's good. I don't feel as embarrassed. Okay.
Yeah,
Well, you're the guest. You could choose whoever you want first.
All right. Let me throw someone up in S tier immediately, and that's my boy Pain, of course.
Okay. Yeah.
Are we agreed?
All agreeing. All agreeing. Yeah.
That's no debate.
Yeah. Okay. The only thing I might would say is that maybe somebody could argue that you knock him down because he was like a puppet to a bigger plan, like a moderate. Because he.
Oh, hold on. Are we what are we based? Are we judging?
We can do it as far as like enjoyment and how good of a villain as they were to the story. Like, what do you personally, your personal like enjoyment of them as a villain, and what they do for the story?
Okay. Yeah.
No power scaling here, unless you
Right.
know that's what we want to do. But
nah.
Yeah, I agree. I love Pain a lot. Give your synopsis, man. You're the guest.
I mean, Pain. I just feel like it's peak Naruto when Pain is giving his speech, like his philosophy, his the cycle of pain, cycle of hatred speech. It's like, man, I don't think there's any like, at least in terms of like the philosophical parts of Naruto, Pain is kind of like the top for me. His whole, and the fact that he's like, his ideals are meant to like directly challenge Naruto's ideals, and it's just, I don't know, it's so well written, everything about his character.
Funny how like people in Jiraiya's book, he thought Pain was the child of Prodigy, but in actuality it was Naruto.
Yeah.
Pain was like, I get like a rogue Naruto in a sense.
yeah. Literally anti Naruto, which was really cool. So
okay, we all agree. As Rashid, you can choose the next villain.
Next villain
or antagonist, whatever.
My bad, I can't see them. My eyes. Loki, horrible, but I forgot his name. Loki.
Which one? Kabuto.
Yeah, Kabuto.
All right. What you getting?
I'm gonna say B.
Okay.
And it's early stage Kabuto as well. I mean, I wouldn't say he's like.
Oh, okay. We got both Kabutos on.
Yeah.
See.
I wouldn't say like he's a. I mean, in the beginning, he didn't do much, but he was like cool and interesting, and he was kind of like.
Yeah, I'd say B
for
part one Kabuto.
Yeah, it was also like, it's just whenever he was there, like, remember from the tuning exams, whenever he was there, you just felt like an ominous presence, man. Like, you felt like some shit.
Something was off, vibes were off.
I would say B too, because he didn't have his own motives. Like, he was essentially a henchman, but he did that really well.
Yeah, he was a schemer behind the schemer.
Right.
So, like.
Yeah, I'll say B too.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, no, I think B. I actually have quite the strong opinion on Kabuto. He's one of my favorite characters in the series. But if we're gonna be separating them from part one and the second part, I'll talk about that more on the Shippuden version of Kabuto. But I'd say for part one, before you know what happens in Shippuden, if you're just basing him off that, then I'd say B is fair.
Okay, bad. We all agreeing right now. I think my take is gonna be a little hot, a little spicy. So I'm gonna go with the big gun. I'm going Madara. I'm gonna put this out there.
I'm
gonna say A.
A.
Oh.
Yeah.
Explain.
I'm gonna explain why in a sense. Okay, so we learned how Naruto and Sasuke are reincarnations, right? Like about how like the reincarnations of
Indra and Ultra.
Thank you for I don't remember names, so thank you for that. So for me, if Sasuke was the main character, and they're like dualism characters, right? Yes. Like that. If Sasuke was the main character, I feel like Madara would be more of a connection to me. Madara would connect more to Sasuke because it's like Uchihas both went down that dark path. As for me, Naruto is my MC. I don't feel that same connection to Madara. Like I look at Madara as hype. Like when he came through, it was amazing.
I mean, dude is just raw, bro.
Yeah, he is raw. I mean, we all remember the scene of like him taking all the ninjas. They were running to him. I don't know why the fuck they were running to him. I would have went the other way. I would have been like, man. But for me, as Naruto's my main character, I didn't really feel that same connection with the from like Naruto to Pain, because like Naruto to Pain they're cut from the same cloth, same damn master, same type of ideals, and it's just like Madara was like, he was a hype ass villain for me, but it was also like when I sit back, I'm like, does he really connect to my main character the way I feel like he does? For me.
Yeah, that's fair. I just think that he has like even his philosophical
He has
parts
more.
is really cool, like with his speech on reality and stuff, but it's mostly just like, man, he's just so enjoyable because like there's so many moments that I can name, but like
and I would say that he has like some of the best, like we were referenced to him like all the way.
Yeah, the buildup is insane. It's like the biggest buildup in the whole series, and then he's finally revealed, and it's so satisfying because they just like he just makes them flex on everyone, especially when he's like fighting the Kage, right? And he's like he uses
it wasn't even him fighting. It was the like dead man Madara.
Yeah, and he uses the Susanoo on with his clone. He's like, would you like all of these clones to use Susanoo as well? And Inoki's like, what? Why haven't you done this?
Facts. And I know it's a spicy take, but he would legit be top of A or like bottom of S. So I'm gonna say top of A for me.
My vote is S. So I guess
Rashid?
I also vote S because I absolutely love Madara just because he's a complete badass and everything just associated with him just speaks real. So I also would say S.
Okay. Yeah. I'm not mad about it. I wasn't out here saying he was B now. Like, come on now.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't crazy, I don't think.
At least there's three of us, so then
I'll wait.
Can be it works.
Next for our next antagonist / villain.
You want me to pick?
Yeah, it's your go. We're gonna go. It's you.
Okay, I got one that's gonna be really spicy, and you guys probably aren't gonna agree because nobody ever agrees with me. Well, some people agree with me. Danzo. He's S tier. S tier.
That's not crazy. That's not crazy, bro. I don't think that's crazy.
See, everybody that I've spoken to, except for like Swag and stuff, agreed with me, but like Danzo is like, he's just so well written. I think
master, man. He was
every time Danzo is in the story, he is driving the plot in an interesting direction. And not only that, but like his parallels with like Hiruzen and him being like the whole thing about like Hiruzen is the leaves that grow in the sun while he's the roots in the darkness thing, like the whole parallel between them. Like he's willing to do the dirty work for the village so that everyone else can remain clean. And
I mean, we think about it. He set up Sasuke becoming like how he was because he was a big force of telling him to kill the Uchihas.
Danzo is just, I don't know. A lot of people hate him, but I think he's written to be hated.
You're supposed to hate him.
Yeah, but like, I don't think some people believe that because they don't like him as a person, that means that he's not a good character. But I don't think the two things correlate. I think he's a really, really well written character.
Right.
So I'm saying S for Danzo. I'm 100% there.
Rashid, what about you now?
I mean, honestly, Danzo. I mean, I remember him. I don't remember everything about him, but I did have a cruel hate for him. Plus, he kind of creeped me out just because all those triangles on his arm. That kind of that was a creeping factor for me.
Facts.
And he was, I mean, I do have to say he was interesting. He was a very big drive in most of the plots that happened, like the whole thing with the Uchihas being executed and all that stuff. He was the reason. Well, he's the one who even suggested a plan for all that, or that solution.
Right.
So, I mean, I wouldn't say S, but I could say A.
Okay. Nah, damn, I'm the tiebreaker.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm having flashbacks. Remember when Pain came through and he killed the Toad Frogs to tell Naruto, like that man was a total. He was willing to let the Leaf Village get destroyed just so he could rebuild it back up. Like that man was the definition of a
dude. He is hardcore. Like he doesn't give a shit who he pisses off or what he looks like to anyone. He's just like, I'm gonna protect the Leaf Village even if I have to be a scumbag. And for something about that is a bit respectable. I don't know what it is, but it's like this whole thing. Like I'm willing for everyone to hate me. I don't care as long as the Leaf Village is safe. And a lot of people think that Donzo was like this power hungry dude, but he wasn't like power hungry for the sake of having power. He wanted to control things because he didn't believe that anyone else had the balls to do what he had to do, you know? Like he, at the end of the day, he was trying to protect the Leaf Village. He was not a good guy, but he had the right reasons, which I think was really interesting.
And for the memes. You're making me, I'm gonna say bottom of S. I have to go bottom of S for me because it's like I feel like he connects more to the story or whatever. But like I have Madara in A, but I feel like he's maybe slightly better than Madara as a villain for me. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'll go bottom of S.
So we're putting an S?
Yeah. I agree.
All right.
I agree. Where's the little bastard at?
He's beside Toby there.
There we go. Yeah. There we go. Damn, that's what happened to me so far away. All right. Who's those in?
Oh, mine. Yeah.
Okay.
So I want to do Sasuke. Which part is this? This
is
like which one?
This is probably like after the Great Ninja War, but I feel like we could take anything post like him leaving.
Is that the only? That's the only Sasuke on there. Yeah.
But I just will say we take everything he did post him leaving the Leaf Village.
Post him leaving.
Yeah, because like he's a road nigga. Road ninja. Road ninja. Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Which is interesting because most of the rogue ninjas that was introduced into the show were considered evil, but I don't think, and most of the time in Sasuke terms, it wasn't like him necessarily being evil. It was just him doing whatever he wanted to achieve, whatever goal he desired.
Right.
So I can't really say he was completely evil. It was just that his way of going about things was opposite of Naruto.
But that's why I think we said antagonist. Antagonist doesn't mean you're necessarily like
evil, but you're just
in the
opposite.
Yeah, the main character. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, I guess in that case, then, in my personal opinion, with him always battling out with Naruto, achieving his own goal, that clashed with Naruto, but would still technically achieve almost the exact same thing in a way. I would personally say A. I like Sasuke and all that stuff, but like he was a great drive for Naruto story-wise anyway.
Right.
But he didn't any other factor besides,
I mean, he tried to kill the Leaf Village, bro.
Yeah, I was about to say most of his journey was kind of confusing too, because at some point he wasn't even sure what he should do at some point as well. That's why he was running around with Orochimaru, talk to the Hokages. I remember, if I remember that correctly.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's A for me. Yeah.
Okay. What about you? How you feel?
Sasuke is my favorite character in the whole series. I would put him in S above every other character that's in S. Even I would go that far.
I was gonna say the same thing.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
So Sasuke is, I mean, it's kind of undebatable that there's no other character in the series besides Naruto that drives the plot forward. And I would argue that anytime Sasuke is on screen and it's focused on Sasuke, anytime that there is any story related to Sasuke, the most interesting parts of the anime are going on. It's like almost undebatable. Like it's Sasuke he drives the anime forward. And yeah, you said, I think that there's somewhat of a misconception when it comes to Sasuke, where he keeps changing his mind, right? And some people say that he's like very what's the word, like flippant and not sure of himself. But I think that Sasuke is a very realistic character because he takes the information that he's given and he allows that to change his viewpoint and change which direction he wants to go. I don't think it's like him being confused as to what he wants to do. I think it's just him learning something new and adjusting his goals. And I think that's a very realistic thing for a character to do. But Sasuke, over anything else, A fallen hero is my favorite type of character. So if we look at characters like Anakin Skywalker, right?
Oh yeah.
One of the best characters in Star Wars just because of that whole fallen hero arc that he goes through. And Sasuke, I kind of get the same feeling from. I love seeing some hero, right? Some character who has a bright future fall to darkness and get slowly and slowly more into that darkness until he just pretty much snaps. At one point, Sasuke went completely insane. He was like doing the evil laugh and everything. And I thought that was the most like, it's so interesting to see his fall and follow him from the beginning of the series and see like how everything changes the way he views the world. And then at the end, when he decides I want to be the Hokage, it's indirect. It shows everything that Sasuke went through. So Naruto went through everything, right? And he's like, okay, I want to make the world a better place. I want to bring peace. I want to change the ninja world for the better. But everything that Sasuke went through throughout the whole series made him come to the conclusion that, okay, this ninja world is trash. We got to scrap it and restart. So he pretty much had the same, at the end of the series, the same thought as Naruto, but he was like, they were opposites in their method of what they wanted to do. And I think it's really interesting seeing Sasuke, how Sasuke came to that conclusion if you watch him throughout the whole story. But yeah, he's undisputably S tier for me. I couldn't put him any lower.
I didn't want to, I go based off that the Sasuke rant. I love how I hate how people be like, "Oh, he's bitchy, he's whiny." Me and Rashid were both teens. I feel like if you put anybody, but especially teenagers, through that situation.
I mean, yeah, his brother
like
killed his whole family, and then he killed his brother, and then
like how you said it, how he keeps changing his goals. Like, no, he takes information and he adjusts to what's happening.
Yeah,
like the Leaf Village fucked up my clan. I want to kill the Leaf Village, and you could say that it's extreme, but wasn't extreme for him to get to that point of his whole life being basically a lie.
Right, and then after he learned from the Kage, or after he spoke to the Kage, he realized that it wasn't just the Leaf Village's problem; it was the ninja world as a whole that needed to be fixed. Which is how he came to the conclusion of revolution is what's needed.
Right. A cleanse.
Yeah.
So in my opinion, there's no other character in the show that is the yin yang to Naruto. No other character does that better. I mean, they're damn near both the MCs.
Yeah, exactly.
I gotta go top of S, man. I gotta go the very top of S, like before anybody else, in my humble opinion.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
Let's go, Sasuke supremacy. I think it's my go now.
Yeah.
So I have the first probably F tier villain. Really, the guy from the first episode. Forgot his name.
Oh, the guy that made Naruto
still
the scroll.
Yeah,
Mizuki.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. I won't go F because I'll go D because it wasn't him. Naruto doesn't learn shower clones. But other than that, he did come back another time. I think he came back one time too. I think. Like,
yeah, it was in a filler. Yeah, he.
I'm gonna go D.
It said he was working for Orochimaru and he turned into a tiger and shit. It was kind of weird.
I'm gonna go. Should I go D or F? Because he did push Naruto.
I'd say D. I don't know. Like, I think F would be reserved for the characters who are really like nobodies. Like, he's a nobody, but not like see this dude below him here.
Don't even know him.
It's probably an F. You know.
Yeah, I'm going D. Does anybody want to say anything about him?
No,
I'm good with D as well. Yeah.
Let's go. We had too many S's. I had to balance it out a little bit.
That's true.
All right, you're good, man. What you got?
Okay, so let's go back to Kabuto for a second so I can get this out of the way.
Right.
Kabuto, Shippuden Kabuto is an S rank character for me. I made a whole fucking like super long video on this, but Kabuto is insane because his backstory is essentially that the Foundation took him in, right?
Right.
And they sent him out as a spy, and he spied in all of these countries to the point where he basically like lost his identity, right? He like lost track of who he was. And then what they did was he knew too much, and his mother, his adoptive mother, who was also a spy, knew too much. And so what Danzo did was he set it up so that Kabuto and his mother would kill each other. And that clearly didn't go down the way Danzo thought it would. But that kind of snapped Kabuto more into this spiral of not knowing who he was, because his mother was kind of the only person who gave him an identity, right? So then Kabuto, throughout the rest of Shippuden, is after Orochimaru dies, because he meets Orochimaru, and then Orochimaru again gives him this new sense of identity that he keeps losing his identity, and somebody keeps giving it to him again. And Orochimaru did that, and then he loses Orochimaru, and then Kabuto snaps even farther. And then he goes down this route of trying to be the perfect version of himself, where he takes DNA from Orochimaru and all the test subjects and stuff like that. And Kabuto just becomes this beast of a character where he has Sage mode, and he's just like really, really strong. Excuse my nose is running a bit.
Yeah, and he does help Madara bring back the reanimation. That was a big thing.
Yeah. So Kabuto pretty much, like, it's his war. He even says it himself. This fourth Shinobi War is my war. And he's partly right, because he's the one that brought all the Shinobi back. He's the one who brings Madara back, even. Like, it's his, everything is his fault. But the coolest thing I think about Kabuto is that he, unlike almost every other of the main villains, because if you think about it, Pain, Madara, Obito, all other than Orochimaru, all of these other main villains, right? Their goal is peace. At the end of the day, their goal is peace. Despite how despicable or how evil their means to get there seems, their goal was always peace. Kabuto, on the other hand, is not the same way. He's more of like a chaotic evil type character. Kabuto does not give a shit about peace. He's there, and I don't remember the exact quote, but he says it himself. He's basically there to just prove how powerful he can be. He's there to prove this new identity that he's taken on, this ultimate Kabuto, and he's basically there to just fuck shit up. That's all he wants to do.
Right.
He wants revenge on the ninja world for doing what it did to him, and getting this adoptive mother killed and everything like that. But at the end of the day, he's so much different than all the other villains, and I think that really makes him stand out to me.
So you're going S.
I'm going S 100% for Kabuto. At least Shippuden Kabuto. I'm fully there.
What about you?
I mean, truthfully, listen to all that. Man, you taught me things I didn't even know about him, to be honest.
I can't even like articulate it well enough, like on the spot. But if you watch my video that I made on it, I guarantee you'll be on board with me.
Plug real quick.
I mean, I feel on board even after hearing all that, because I thought Kabuto was a cool character, especially with the whole Sage mode and the whole fact that the war even started off just because he learned reanimation jutsu. So, like, I mean,
yeah, and perfected it too. Like, something that the original creator Tobirama and Orochimaru couldn't do. He surpassed Orochimaru. It even I think Orochimaru himself even says it. Yeah. Someone says it. I can't remember who, but.
So how you feeling?
I'm in agreement. I guess I mean, those things.
I was gonna say the only reason I was gonna say A.
Yeah.
And the only reason why I was gonna say A is because I still, like, as much as he did, like, in like the whole kind of him not knowing who he is, going through, I would say identity crisis, to be honest, because his what was stated, he really didn't know who he was when he didn't have anybody to lean on, and he snapped. And
that's his whole character is just this continuous identity crisis.
Like a missing child looking for his mother.
Yeah.
And it's like, the only thing is, do I really think he's on the level of Pain? Do I think he's on the level of Sasuke? And when I think about it, I just be like, but he did a whole fucking war, bro. So, like, yeah, I can vibe with S. I'm gonna say A, but it doesn't matter. You guys outrank me, so we going S.
Cool thing too about his glasses, he doesn't need them, right? because he has sage mode. He's like insane. He doesn't have a vision problem when he's in Shippuden. He still wears his glasses though, because his mother gave them to him, and that's that gave him his identity. So he doesn't take them off. It doesn't mention that, but that's what it is. It's pretty cool.
I'll never forget the video. This man, Swag Kage, was like, "Why does a motherfucker in the ninja world need glasses?" This was like 5 years ago, I think, and he was like, "This is why I hate him so much." I'll never forget. It was so funny.
No, it's because of his mom. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is. Yeah. Sheet, I think it's your go now, man.
Yeah. I'm gonna just go with Sasori. I absolutely love him. Mm-hmm. Second favorite member of Akatsuki, honestly. And
yeah, I'm with you there.
I mean, story-wise, he doesn't. He's kind of just there. But I love his backstory. Love the reason why he became a rogue ninja.
I think for the time that he's in the series, which isn't very long, he has a really good story just for that section of the series.
Oh yes, most definitely.
I think we'll separate because we did a Akatsuki tier listing, so I'm gonna separate like them as the villains, then the
Yeah. I mean, pure, just based off complete character. I absolutely love his character. The whole idea that his lost his parents at an early age, still wanted their warmth, so he created puppets out of them. Like that's, I mean, truthfully, in a sense, that's sad and lonely.
Kind of creepy.
It is creepy, but like. It's understanding. He was young and he still wanted his parents.
He reminds me of like Shigaraki when like Shigaraki has like the hands on his face or whatever. That's kind of what I reminds me.
Yeah, that's a great analogy. So I mean, me personally, I put him A. Just based on the love and all that stuff. And I mean, if we're going off the way the drive he does in the story, since he's not in the show that long and he doesn't really impact the show that I know of that much.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, he kind of impacts Sakura in a way.
Sure, yeah. I'm also fully A for Sasori. He's my second favorite Akatsuki after Pain.
Yeah.
Sasori, man. Let me just go off of like the whole like story and writing stuff. I gotta say, almost nothing cooler in the series than puppet jutsu. It's so cool. It's so interesting to watch in a fight with all the like different techniques and like traps and stuff he has. It's such a cool style of combat. But yeah, Sasori is just I really like his whole philosophy where it's like him and Datara, right, with the whole art thing. Art is eternal. So Sasori believed that art was eternal and it never crumbled or faded away, and he turned himself into a human puppet, which is insane. It's absolutely insane. But he tried to make himself into this version of what he thought was art. And the interesting thing is that he was lying to himself, right? Like he tried to like pretend that he didn't give a shit about love or his parents or anything anymore. But in the end, when he dies, you can definitely see that he did.
Yeah.
So he was really trying to force that whole like I don't care, I'm not a human type vibe. But it just he couldn't make his heart believe it, which I think was really cool. And then there's the whole thing too with Sasori and Datara, how if you notice, I don't know if this was intentional or not, but if you notice, Sasori says art is eternal, Datara says art is an explosion, as in it's quick, it's there for a flash, and then it's over. The funny thing is, Sasori was quick. He was only in the series for a short, brief time. And Datara was in the series like for like the whole thing up until the war, right? So it's kind of like Sasori was Datara's best version of art, and Datara was Sasori's perfect version of art in terms of how long they lasted in the series, which I thought was cool.
That would be cool if that was intentional.
Yeah, but yeah, Sasori, I think he's A tier for me. I like I said, or like you said, sorry, I don't think he was in the series long enough or like had enough impact on like the main plot line to be put in S. But I definitely think in terms of the characters that don't do that aren't major in the plot, he was one of the best out of them, I think.
Oh yeah.
So I'd put him in A.
All right, I guess I gotta be the downer. For me, that was great. It was a good point. I'm gonna go C. All the sense,
C, not even B.
nah, C. Just all the sense we're basing off of what's our list.
Yeah.
I don't think he's better than. I don't think he did better what Kabuto did with less, like the same amount of time. I know Kabuto was there for a longer amount of time and stuff like that, but I'm just going off the list. I don't think what he did was better than Kabuto in a sense. And I also feel like it. I just feel like he wasn't there long enough for me, and that's like such a terrible argument to you guys make great analyses, the R explosion thing, but he's already not one of my favorite Akatsuki members, so that already, already puts it down. and that is like he's not there long enough to make his imprint on me to change that. So for me, just a C. But two A's and a C, that's a B. So
yeah, I mean different characters connect with like different people in like different ways, you know. So like some characters are like obviously S tier even if you don't like them. But I feel like characters like Sasori, it'll just, some people it hits and some people it doesn't. It's a hit or miss. So that's fair.
Would you guys have him over Kabuto though? Well, yeah.
I wouldn't, because like I said, Kabuto is my favorite. I don't like to separate part one, and I the only reason I agreed with Kabuto being in B is because he's separate from the Shippuden Kabuto, because I knew I wanted to put the Shippuden Kabuto up in S. But I usually don't like to separate the characters into like different times. So I would have put Kabuto fully in S for his whole character.
Yeah. Since they separated it. You know?
Yeah, since they separated, I agreed with him being in B. I might even bump him up to A, to be honest. But yeah, I think if you want Sasori in C and we want him A, I think B is fair.
All right. I think I'm next. I'm gonna go with a heavy gun. I'm gonna go with Orochimaru, heavy hitter. I think this is like the whole series of Orochimaru. I think like whole Naruto, which we answered to. I mean, he was the first villain I think we ever felt fear when we saw him on the screen. That's a big thing for villains. True. Like I watched Naruto at 14, so maybe if I watch it now, it would feel a little different, maybe. But he's the first villain I ever remember seeing on screen. I was like, yo, we got something to worry about.
Right.
Like, he set up this whole thing during Chunin exams to kill the third Hokage. Mm-hmm. I think people forget about what happened with Tsunade. Him taking on two of the Sannin. And his arms were done. Gone. He was basically grooming Sasuke for power.
And the thing about that, not to put things back on Kabuto, but the thing about that Sannin fight is that Kabuto was just owning. There was this scene, right, where this is not related to Orochimaru, but I gotta say, just to hype up Kabuto, there's this scene where Tsunade does something to Kabuto's like nervous system, right? And he can't move. Every time he moves his body, like if he moves his thumb, his leg moves, you know, like everything's fucked up. And within like a few seconds, he figures out what moves what and is back to like full fucking speed, moving around, fighting. That's insane. That's so insane.
I would agree. So, and it's also just the fact that like I could say, in a sense, I know this sounds weird, but he's the first villain maybe that kind of gets what he wants to an extent, because he wanted like everlasting life. Like he wanted, and he did die, but he's always, even in Boruto, he's still around. He's still around. He didn't get Sasuke's body. He didn't get the ability. I don't know if he ever talked about being like a Hokage or being in control, or that was ever hinted at or anything. But one of his biggest goals was to live forever and to learn all the types of jutsus. Well, I mean, he's kind of doing that in Boruto. He's still alive. The man's probably he's probably pushing 100 years old at this point. Yeah, he has to be. Yeah. So just the fact that he's one of the few villains that did one of his goals. He was ominous. He was a part of killing the third Hokage. He kind of set Naruto and Sasuke on this journey of separating, because he provided Sasuke with the means to get powerful, to get what he wanted, which was to kill Itachi. Yeah. So and all the knowledge he knows, everything he knows about history, for me, I'm going S for Orochimaru.
I'm also going S. I think Orochimaru is like it's not really like I would say that Orochimaru definitely doesn't have as strong as like a philosophical stance as some of the other characters like Sasuke or Pain, right? But Orochimaru, I don't think, and this might be a bit of a hot take, but I don't think any character has a presence as terrifying as Orochimaru, even Madara. I think that at least in part one, right? Like Orochimaru's appearance into the show when he attacked them in the Forest of Death, right?
Yeah.
And he rips off his like face and it's like fucking Orochi, dude.
Yeah.
That dude was like the personification of fear itself, you know, like it was like he was scary. And I don't think that after that a lot of villains really captured that level of like how scared he made the audience feel for the characters involved, right? So just with that alone, I think that trait of him is S, but I also really like his goals, right? To be immortal, right? He says all things with form will eventually perish. And I think that that is like a super, it's relatable almost in a sense, but not like, not in the sense because he's talking about he wants to like actually live forever and learn everything. But I kind of feel like I can relate to Orochimaru in the way that like, I wish I had enough time to do more, you know, like I think that Orochimaru's goals, they're very selfish.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel for the dude. Like if I was gonna align with any of these other villains' goals, I think it would be similar to Orochimaru.
And I think another thing was a big reason he felt that way was after seeing Tsunade's her ex lover get killed in the war. It really pushed you, like, because I think they were really close, and seeing all the people, like, he was just like, damn, like,
yeah. He I really, this was in a filler, but he also kind of guides others towards that sort of sticking around type of, like, Orochimaru's been around so long, he's almost a good mentor in a way. It sounds fucked up because he's fucked up, but right. He says to Kimimaro when he first meets Kimimaro was like almost suicidal. Like he thought like, okay, nothing in this world's worth it. And Kimimaro picks up a flower, and Orochimaru approaches him and he says, that if you linger a little while longer in this world, you might find something worthwhile. And I think that's a really good message. It's like, if you feel like there's nothing left for you, right? Like if you don't feel like there's anything worth living for, Orochimaru is basically just like, hey, stick around. You might find something that's worth it. And I think that's a great message, honestly. Even though he's like a terrible person, I think he has some good messages in there.
That's a very great message. I mean, you guys already said pretty much almost everything about Orochimaru. Not really much for me to add on to.
What was your ranking?
I also asked just.
Oh, I didn't know. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah. I was about to say he does a lot.
Was it crazy for me to say that? Like, I would put him S with Sasuke, Pain, and I'll put him like right before Madara. For me. Like I would have Sasuke, Pain, and put him. I'll have him at 3 in S.
Yeah. That's fair. Also, another thing about Orochimaru is that he, his aesthetic is just really cool. Like his whole snake theme, and like everyone that comes from this,
he's so creepy. Like
it's cool, dude. I don't know what it is. And everyone that comes from the Sound Village also kind of shares that like creepy but really interesting vibe. And I think I gotta give the credit to Orochimaru for making that happen, you know? Like everything that comes from him is cool. So
I agree. Back to you guys. Back to you. What you got?
Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, let's not put too many. Let's move away from the S's here.
Yeah.
Let's go with where's that dude at? Let's do 2 here. I think we can do 2 because they both kind of you see those two guys beside Deidara there? They're from the Obito and Kakashi flashback when they take Rin. They're the two rock ninja there beside Datara.
Yeah.
I think we can put them both in F because they're just kind of nothing.
These two right here.
These two?
Yeah.
I would say they're both F. I don't know if they're not.
I don't remember. I don't remember them. I don't even remember them.
Yeah. So there you go.
There we go. Okay. Rashid.
I don't remember their names, but the people who came to help still Sasuke in the pot thingy.
Which ones?
The Sound 4?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the
one that fought Choji?
Not the one that fought Choji. I'm gonna go with the twins. The twins are actually like probably out of the 4, probably the ones I like the most.
Even over the dude that fought Rock Lee?
I mean, I like him too, but like when I hear the Sound 4, I only think of the 4 that was in the forest. The one besides the guy that was fighting.
Right. He was off the team because he was sick, but it was the Sound 5 originally.
So where are they then? I can't. These two?
They're right there. Sakon and Ukon there.
Is it crazy if I said D? I mean,
it's a little crazy.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, they don't have that much impact in the story. I mean, character-wise, they're kind of just there for a bit, literally just for really that one part, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
I personally would say C. Mainly because dang, I lost my train of thought. Give me a second. All right, I mainly say C, mainly because I did like them in the few moments that they did show up. I kind of like their abilities. I mean, they weren't that strong, but not really trying to base it off of like their strength or their ability wise. But out of all the 4 that were really there, besides the bone guy, I kind of just remember him and the flute chick, and I feel like they had an impact, not big of an impact, but I thought they were interesting. So that's mainly why I say C, just an interest factor, really. I mean, I have nothing else to say about them. Say about him.
Yeah, I think all the Sound 4 or 5 are really design-wise and ability-wise. I think they all have really unique and interesting abilities. Like I said, they came from Orochimaru, so they're cool as hell, obviously, and their personalities are awesome. Yeah, in terms of their actual character writing, like their philosophy or their motives and stuff, they're kind of weak. They're lacking on that. Their arc though, the Sasuke retrieval arc is actually my favorite arc in the entire series. So I got a lot of respect for these guys because they brought out some really cool battles. It's more so what they did, like what reactions they brought out of the other characters that made them good, right? Like what Sakon and Ukon did for Kiba's character and stuff like that. But since because we have Kabuto and Sasori in B, I cannot at all put them on the same level, right? Yeah. So I'm gonna say C as well.
I was gonna say D, but I'm not really that. Like, I'm cool. I get the point you're saying.
Yeah,
they were cool.
Yeah,
and like it did take the Conan 11, like the people the kids who were out there, like Shikamaru, Neji, like all of them that were out there. It took them to another level. Like
it's people say that's the arc where boys became men, right? So.
Yeah. So like just off of that, I agree. Like that was their real, I guess, big test, like on screen.
I was about to say something on the topic. Do you want to just put all of them? Like
no, because I think the guy that fought Rock Lee is a B character.
Well, no, I mean like the other two, like the one that fought Choji and the one I think the spider
Kiba.
Kiba was the twins, the spider.
No, I thought Kiba fought the
Kiba fought the twins. Shikamaru fought Tayuya. Okay. Neji fought Kidomaru. Kidomaru is actually my favorite. He's the spider guy there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like him.
You want to put all of them in C?
I think I would put all of them in C, but not Kidomaru, not the bone fellow.
Yeah, bone fellow. That's my guy. Okay, good. All right, now this list is getting a little. All right, who should we just talk about Bone Fellow since
we might as well since we're already on the topic.
For me, the reason why I said B is because like he was supposed to be Sasuke but wasn't Sasuke.
Yeah, I'd put him in B as well. I think he's.
Yeah,
I
And
think
it
he's
was
badass.
also like he gave like I know like this is a little I guess biased, but I just enjoyed him fighting drunk Rock Lee way more.
That was cool, dude.
And I got rid of this up. So we had Rock Lee, the dub voice actor, on our podcast, and talking to
Oh
him,
yeah.
talking to him about like how he had to do the voice, like that whole. We were there for like 7 straight hours doing that, which is like amazing, and to get the backstory, like hearing the dude talk about it, and also
That's cool.
Rock Lee's one of my favorite like characters. I think they did him really well pre the time skip or whatever, pre Shippuden, whatever.
Right. Before they gave up on him. Yeah.
Yeah, but I understand, you know, you can focus on Rock Lee forever. I get it. And I just like the fact that he embodied like Orochi, like he was as loyal to Orochimaru as Kakuzu was. And all of them were, but his felt a little more extreme to me.
It did. It felt more like
I would die for you, like give my life, give my bones for you.
It's because so Kimimaru's whole thing was that he wanted to be of use to somebody. He wanted to feel like he was useful. So when he was no longer useful, when he found out that he was sick, right, and he was no longer going to be of use to Orochimaru, that's when he decided, okay, I'm just gonna go. The only thing that I can be of use as now is to get the new vessel to Orochimaru. That became his new purpose. So that's why he kind of just went all out on Rock Lee and Gaara. And then he died there as well. He died for that purpose. So I think I would put him in B as well.
Would you have him over Sorcery? Because we're not.
I wouldn't have him over Sorcery. No. I love Sorcery. Like I really like Sorcery.
I forgot. Do we know whose goal is it now? We didn't went into like a whole. Remember whose goal is it?
Go.
Like.
It's you because
it's my go. Okay, it's my go. So I'm gonna go with just these two fellers right here.
Kinkaku and Ginkaku.
They came back in the war, right? They came back in the war. Were they ever mentioned in the series before? Because it's been so long. Were they ever mentioned before?
I don't think so.
I don't want to put them in try. I don't want to put them in completely F. But
they were briefly the Ginkaku force was briefly mentioned because they're the ones who killed the second Hokage, Tobirama.
Oh yeah.
It was mentioned in Danzo's flashback, like before Danzo died on the bridge fight. Mm-hmm. But other than that, no.
Do we know
them
why
specifically?
Why was his second Hokage killed? Like, what was the motive?
So Ginkaku and Kinkaku, I don't know if both of them were there, but there's something called the Ginkaku Force, which was like 20 S rank shinobi from the Cloud Village. So that's like S rank, like Akatsuki level, 20 of them, right? And they what happened to the thing?
Yeah. Bro, my phone, my bad, man. Somebody just called me.
But anyways, they had them trapped, right? Him, Tobirama and his group. And then Tobirama's like, okay, I am going to divert them and distract them while you guys get away. And that group was like Hiruzen and Danzo and all them. And he basically sacrificed himself so that the others could get away. Oh, okay. That's how he died.
Because my bad. I mean, it's all good. I mean, because strictly, I didn't remember them whatsoever.
It doesn't show them in that, so that's why it's not.
Just off of you telling me that, I'll put them in D. Like for me, they were part of that. I'll put them in D.
I didn't love them in the war. Like I don't know. I don't think that they're. Again, I would probably put them in. I don't know. I'm between C and D, honestly. I didn't like them that much. I definitely don't think they're like with Sasori or Kimimaru.
Yeah.
I like the Sound 4 better than them, to be honest.
Fuck it. I'm going F just to bring your average down. I'm going F.
I mean, they were kind of cool, but I don't think it's fair to put them with Mizuki. I'm gonna say low C.
Okay.
Let's see.
All right, what do you have, Rashid?
I mean, like I strictly just said, I don't remember them whatsoever. So I really kind of didn't really have a real opinion where they went, but I'm gonna just go in between both of you guys and just go with D. So
what? Low C, D, and S. So that's a D, I think. That would be like a D.
Yeah, I'd say that's probably a D.
All
Yeah.
right, is he ahead of the first episode? They're ahead of the first episode, guys, right?
Oh, 100% ahead of that guy. Yeah.
Okay. That's good. We gotta average the list out. That's why I just said, man, I'm gonna put him at. I don't remember them. Okay, we're back to you, man.
Let's go with let's do the Demon Brothers, Gozu and Meizu. They're kind of separated there, but one's beside Kisame, the other's beside Obito.
Okay.
They got the gas masks on. They attacked Team 7 just when they left the village to go after Zabuza.
Yeah, I was gonna say I remember.
I don't.
They're literally just in like 1-2 episodes.
They're actually on screen for like a minute. Actually, a minute.
F.
But here's the thing: they are cooler than they're better than Mizuki. That's for sure. They are.
Yeah, because they're technically I wouldn't say technical reason, but they're kind of the step or like pretty much just the realization of, all right, you can die on this mission for Naruto.
Oh yeah, no, him. Oh yeah.
Right.
Okay, I'll go D.
This is the one where Naruto makes his vow, right, to like not ever back down from a fight anymore after meeting them. But the cool thing is actually in the data book. It's not part of the series, but in the data book, it actually describes these guys and their purpose for their design. So that one guy, he's got messy hair, and the other guy has straight hair. And then he also has like crazy eyes, and the other guy has really narrow eyes.
Yeah.
And it's said that it's because that guy's the crazy one. He's like the hot-headed one who like he acts on his emotions.
Yes.
And the other guy is the guy who thinks things through. So their designs reflect that. And then on top of that, their names Gozu and Meizu were like in Japanese folklore, they're like the guardians of the underworld or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of background stuff on their character that isn't mentioned in the series, which I thought was really cool. So I'd say D. I'm gonna put them in D. I don't think they deserve an F.
Yeah, I agree as well. That's something cool.
Are they like right here, like behind the two brothers, the other two brothers?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, let's bring you down. Don't try to escape.
Wrong one.
That's beside him. That's
Yeah, it's this one.
This one?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm tripping. Okay, they're above the first episode, guy. I remember that. Okay. Rashid, it's your go now, man.
Let's go. Let's go Gara.
All right, heavy hitter.
This is strictly True Niggas and Gara, right? Like Rock Lee.
Yeah, I guess this one. Yeah, that's the only time he's like antagonist, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I think. I feel like we almost have to account for his
backstory too, like his upbringing, I guess a little bit, right?
And the way that he changes, I think, from out of being a villain.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So a whole character, I guess.
Okay, then I absolutely love Gara. Gara first introduced, I honestly thought he was a piece of shit. I mean, truthfully, and it's understandable because the way he first started acting, he didn't see anyone on an equal level. He was kind of like the character when first introduced, that they're strictly just here to do what they need to do, no outside distractions. Everything else is beneath them besides what they need to do. I, for one, sort of like characters like that, but after a while, like learning why he's the way he is, why he's cruel, why he's like, I need to have this done. This is the only thing I can do, or whatever. As like listening to his backstory and knowing what happened to him is like truthfully understandable. Like, I mean, I'm surprised he could really kind of stay sane in a way.
He wasn't.
Well, he wasn't.
Right,
Like,
yeah.
he still had.
He never, because we talked about he never slept. He never, because the demon could take over.
Yeah, that's
both his parents wanted him killed. The person, his uncle, tried to kill him at 4, 5, something really, really young.
Yeah, he was really young. Yeah,
because he was mad that he was the reason why he killed his sister because of the birth or whatever.
Yeah.
And also the fact that even even when after the tuning exams, he got captured by the Katsuki, and yes, it was a little plot armor how he got revived, whatever. Don't really care about that. But it's also the fact this tolls on his mental, and then even after this arc, his his character development arc or whatever, he still is now like a good leader. He's a nice person. It's just he's been through so much mentally that I think he has one of the best mental toughness, fortitude, whatever you want to call it, because it's that would kill any other person or a regular person. And he's also he's another character. I think I look at if Naruto went wrong, that could have been a Gaara, I think. If Naruto maybe didn't have Iruka for a little bit, could that have been Naruto?
Yeah.
So, yeah. What did you say your ranking was?
S. I'd say S for Gaara. And I really, when I was saying sane, I didn't mean say completely sane, but still later down the line, how he came sane in general.
Right.
I thought that was absolutely amazing because in most scenarios, if you think about it, a lot of people couldn't come sane out of that. That's close to almost impossible. So that's
right. I will go S. Yeah, I'll go S too.
I'm also gonna go S. I think Gaara is. You know when I said, first of all, just talking about tuning exam Gaara. Yeah. When I said that Orochimaru was the only character that brought that intense fear that you actually worried about the other characters, I lied. I lied because Gaara also does the same thing. But like you said, Gaara is really cool because he represents what Naruto could have been if he didn't have the role models that he did.
Yeah.
And there's other characters like that as well. Obito is kind of the same vibe. But I think that the thing that Gaara is such an incredible character just because of how big his change was. He was the scariest villain, the scariest, most brutal. He literally lived for killing. That was his whole purpose. He thought was just to kill. And he became the most loving and caring and wise character probably in the whole series. He was just insane. Yeah, he did a complete 180, almost unrecognizable as the same character.
I just think about when Naruto got married and they had Gaara in a suit and he just looked so wholesome. You have a parallel of him episode probably 70 or 80 in the tuning exams. He's just crazy. His skin is breaking. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's such a dramatic change in character, and I think that's really crazy. But I'd easily put Gaara in S. Even
S before Sasuke Pain, I would have him right there for me. Sasuke Pain did not.
As a whole character, yeah. As a villain, just tuning exams,
that's true. Yeah.
He'd probably be lower than that, but still an S. Still an S. Undoubtedly, still an S.
Yeah, no, I feel it. I'll probably behind Danzo, after Danzo, before Danzo.
Personally, I like Danzo better. I like Kabuto better as well, but I don't know. It doesn't matter for me.
Yeah, it doesn't matter either. What about you?
I was gonna say it doesn't matter.
Okay, well, I'll just put him at the bottom then. Whatever. It doesn't really matter. Where? Okay. Who goes in now? It's my go, I think.
No, it's. Oh, I just said Gaara.
Yeah, it's my go. I'm gonna go Kisame. Ride or die. Well, let's start about it. First of all, we gotta talk about how these other villages, they were soft compared to the elite. You to graduate out of elementary or middle school, you had to kill your classmates, and he came from one of the villages that I think was like that, right?
Yes.
The only one, yeah. the Mist Village. So it was the Blood Mist Village back in the day because it was such a brutal place, especially to be a shinobi. It was like
imagine you go to school with this dude for like 5 straight years. You know, you gotta kill him to graduate. Like it was crazy. I think he was a ride or die, just support character. I always say he was like that perfect number 2 option for Itachi, the star, whatever. Even so loyal to the point that he killed himself so they couldn't get information out of him. Like, I mean, come on, that was badass.
And the cool thing about that is the reason he's so loyal is because he wasn't in the past. His purpose as a shinobi for the Mist was to kill his own comrades. That's the missions he was given, to kill the people that were supposed to trust him. So then when he left the village after all that, loyalty became pretty much his main goal. Like he was loyal to the Akatsuki without question, because he didn't want to be that person that he was in the past, which I think is really cool. And it's funny.
I was gonna say one thing, my bad. Just like, you know, some people could argue he didn't affect the plot amazingly, but I still liked him like a lot. Like he was one of my favorite Akatsuki members. But my bad, man.
Yeah. What I was gonna say was, it's funny that he's paired up with Itachi, right? The person who killed his own clan. He's basically like, and Itachi isn't loyal. He's the least loyal Akatsuki member to the Akatsuki. I mean, he's loyal to the Leaf Village, but he's insanely loyal to the Leaf Village. But he's the perfect match he's literally Itachi's foil here, because he was super loyal to his village, he was forced to kill his own teammates and stuff like that. So he was, I guess, considered not loyal to them. He didn't give a shit. And then he became super loyal to the Akatsuki. Whereas Itachi was not loyal to his clan. He killed his own clan for the sake of the village. And then when he joined the Akatsuki, he joined as a spy. So he's the most disloyal member of the Akatsuki. So he's like the opposite of Itachi here, which I think is really cool.
And it was crazy because they worked so great together.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I would say for me, bottom of B, man. Like I understand he didn't figure it out, but I say bottom of B.
I'll put him in B too. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'd put him in B.
B as well for me. I mean, he's a great character. Yeah.
Okay, bottom of B. Good. We chilling. All right, man. Back to you.
Since we were just screw it. Since we were just talking about Itachi, let's do that.
Hey, man, one of the most controversial figures.
I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. Itachi's one of the best characters in the series, at least in my opinion.
It's not that controversial thing. We're good.
Yes.
Okay, because we had a guy on our panel tell us he was a weak character, like even like not a good character.
Oh man, dude, Itachi is so S tier. It's not even funny.
Yeah, I would agree.
It's not.
It's not. Like you could not agree with him, and I don't think anybody's saying that killing babies, killing people, your clan is a good thing. We get it, of course.
The crazy thing is though, is that he didn't have an option. That was that he had to do that. That was killing his clan, as fucked up as that is, was the best possible outcome.
Or have a civil war in a sense, and more people die.
Yeah.
Right. And it's not just a war between the Leaf and the Uchiha, like a lot of people think it is. That inner conflict within the Leaf Village would have caused all the other villages to be like, oh, the Leaf Village is weak. We're jumping in on this. It would have started a world war. And so many people would have died. The Leaf would have been taken over.
Also would have been another thing of like, I don't think people like when just like even in real life when you have wars and stuff like that, there's the losers get passed down a cycle of hate. Like so, let's say there are Uchihas who still alive. They're gonna be like, man, in the back, fuck the Leaf. They look what they did to my family. And it's gonna be still a cycle of hate. Yeah. And killing all the Uchihas, as fucked up as it is no more hate if there's only one alive. It's just hate for your brother.
Yeah, and Itachi's resolve in doing that too. Like that's like the biggest, I have to do this for the greater good decision that could possibly be made. He had to kill his entire family basically to save like thousands of lives, to stop a world war. The Leaf Village would have been toast if they both fought. And his resolve to be like, okay, I have to kill my family. I have to be known as the person who killed my family. I can't even tell my brother because it would ruin the plan. So he literally had to like take on this villain persona. He had to be the bad guy, this family murderer, all for the sake of the village.
Itachi met up with Sasuke the first time and put that motherfucker in a fucking Tsukiyomi
Yeah.
and choked. And he said, "You are strong enough." I was like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah.
Like you just like, or you want to put Kakashi in the hospital.
Oh yeah.
Or you put what's the
Yeah.
girl name? She never been the same since she got. It's Shikamaru Asuma's wife.
Yeah.
Kurenai.
She hasn't been the same since she got put in the
Yeah.
So like, you just you hate him. You hate him so much, and then when you find out like he was actually a good guy, I feel like some people probably felt like they thought that was coming, whatever.
Yeah.
But me, I didn't. I get spoiled, so I didn't know. But the fact that his whole life was a lie, like his whole persona, how he was acting, like he had a girlfriend he killed, like he was a very strong
best friend. He had killed.
Like
yeah.
He's just a strong character, and of course, nobody's saying that we necessarily agree, but it's like, bro, like he did what had to be done.
I don't think there is a character in the series that has a stronger resolve than Itachi. That is just like someone who just like is able to put back all of those emotions and just do what needs to be done and just take in all that pain and take it all the whole burden on his own shoulders. I don't think there's any character that does that better than Itachi. So I'm easily putting him in S. Easily.
Oh yes.
All right, I know that we say we don't matter, but with him, where he goes matters. Are we having him around Pain, Orochimaru?
I'd put him right between Pain and Orochimaru there. That personally.
What about you?
I was about to say I it probably was crazy of me, but I was gonna say top of S, to be honest. To me,
I
think the argument can be made.
Yeah, because he did push Sasuke to become like the strive for the power that he wanted.
Yep, and just to warn Naruto too, towards the end, he literally had. I mean, I can't remember I remember it, but when he got reanimated, he got the crow to take the control.
yeah. He says to Kabuto, there is one weakness in your reanimation jutsu, and that weakness is me. That's so wrong, dude.
Yeah,
like,
so
oh
bad.
my God.
I would say he will be right after Sasuke for me.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I think, like I said, I think the argument can be made for anywhere in S. It's there's a reason he's a fan favorite character.
Yeah.
So will we all come to a consistency after Pain before Orochimaru? Would that be where everybody would be cool with that?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Yeah, I'm down. Yeah.
All right. Bet. Come on. All right.
I gotta talk about Zabuza.
Zabuza. Okay. Bet.
I said that fast, but I absolutely love Zabuza. Mm-hmm. I mean, even though he was only literally in one arc, he
did come back.
Yeah, the reanimation, he did come back like for a bit, him and Haku. But I absolutely love Zabuza as a character. I mean, he doesn't do much in the story, but he does kind of show that people are not necessarily evil. They just do evil things. Because maybe that's the only thing they know how. I mean, it's kind of hard to, I wouldn't say really hard to describe, but Zabuza was just a badass in his own right. I mean, he probably wasn't as strong or as crazy as Madara or anything, or said anything like super slick or anything, but I just like the whole fact that literally his dying breath, both arms out, took the sword in his mouth, killed all the gang members just to say, all right, and made peace. He made peace, and he stayed true with like his actual feelings, like, because in a way, I wouldn't say he was confused about them. He just didn't express them in the way to where they were true.
I mean, also Zabuza was the first villain that challenged Naruto's ideals and like what does it mean to be a ninja.
Yeah,
Zabuza and Haku were actually responsible for Naruto's goal before Zabuza and Haku was just to be the Hokage because he wanted respect for the village. It wasn't this like, I want to bring peace, I want to change the shinobi system. It wasn't that. It was just, I want to be respected in my village. I want to be Hokage. After he met Zabuza and Haku, he made the vow that he wants to become Hokage so that he can change this broken shinobi system that they clearly displayed was a problem. And the cool thing about Zabuza too is that he's not really a bad guy. He the reason that he wanted money, the reason that he was working for Gato was because he
needed bread.
he needed the money for our revolution, or to attempt another coup d'etat in the Mist, because the Mist village at the time was run by Yagura, who was under the control of Obito. So he was running the village into the ground. It was a terrible, terrible place. Everyone was being mistreated. So Zabuza wanted to become the Mizukage. So Zabuza was gaining funds enough funds to go back to the Mist village and save his village. It wasn't even malicious. It was he was trying to be heroic, but he had to do some shitty things in order to get that enough money to fund that coup d'etat, which I think is really interesting.
Yeah, I think one thing we should just pair them together, Zabuza and Hawk, just because they're such a pair. We should just pair them together.
I think so too. I think that anywhere that Zabuza would land, Haku would land on the list.
I like the fact Haku kind of reminds me of like some shit where it's like, you know, like how in a maybe even real life situation, people like they don't get love or whatever. Since like a Kabuto thing, like people don't get the love they need, so whoever just wants to be you, like whoever will use them, they just attach to them and clean. Like it doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
I've never been.
He's seen himself as a tool for Zabuza.
And I love that so much. And I remember this when like Kakashi was like, Haku was 12, and it was like Naruto was like, what the fuck? There are people who are 12 years old out here doing the same shit as you. And Haku was like that realization, like ninjas coming on, all ages, all sizes, heights, whatever. So Haku really made Naruto be like, I gotta wake the fuck up and do my stuff, man. Because it's like same age as you and had a worse background than you did, arguably.
Yeah.
So besides maybe like, you know, the jerky shit, but whatever. I say for me, I would say they're A.
I also agree with A.
I would personally, I think, because their impact on the series is like, even though they're only in that one arc, they introduce us to the shinobi system, and the themes that they introduce kind of echo throughout the entire rest of the series. I would personally put them in low S, but I would be okay. I can put them in A, high A, I would say.
Yeah, most definitely.
I'll say A too. All right, bet.
And I was gonna say it was great that they highlighted on the shinobi system, because that was like the most.
Yeah, because at that point we didn't know anything but the Leaf Village.
Yeah, and realizing that, because the Leaf kind of, I wouldn't say changed it, but they didn't stick to like the old shinobi
ways and stuff.
Yeah,
like they were definitely
like abandon your comrades when necessary if you had to.
They were definitely more progressive.
Yeah.
Villages. All right. So I think it's my go, right?
Yeah.
We'll go with Toby, not Obito. We could group. No, let's group them together. I don't got time. Let's just group them together. Toby.
Yeah, I think it's weird to separate them because Toby's just kind of an act. It's not like a
it's not. So
different character.
Do we want to say like Toby is like? Would it be crazy for me to say like C or D? You know, he's acting. He's not really doing shit yet. Like,
I mean, Toby is Obito. It's just
I know, but they separated, so it's just like, do we want to like? I don't know. That's why it's weird that they separated.
So are we separating or grouping them? Because if we're grouping them, then like it's just Obito.
Right.
But if we're
I think we should just do Obito and ignore that.
The other. Okay, we're doing Obito S. Like it's no conversation, bro.
Obviously.
Obviously S.
S. I don't know anyone. I mean, I guess I shouldn't say that because there's a lot of weird people on the internet. Right. But I don't know any sane person who could put Obito below S.
Imagine if I said, hey, you just left the chat. You just left the chat. Gotta go. This was fun. But no, S, I mean, he was another case of a puppet master too. He was pulling the strings from the Akatsuki from the back. He helped Itachi kill the Uchihas, which molded Sasuke into becoming how he was. So he probably in the back of his head knew Sasuke was gonna end up coming to him eventually at some point.
Yeah.
He also was manipulating pain. He was manipulating the world because he was saying he was Madara. Like it was just so much that was going on.
Yeah.
He was a result of the four Hokage getting killed.
He really drove like everything. He drove the plot for like the entire, even when you didn't know he was doing it.
And the result, you really think this could be a stretch, but he could be the result of Orochimaru coming through, because if you kill the fourth Hokage when the third Hokage was in charge, it was kind of like he was older. You know, the third Hokage wasn't, the prime anymore. And let's say you have Minato there, I'm sure some power skiller would love to debate me on this and that. But if you have Minato there, I don't know if Orochimaru pulls in the same way he does.
Ain't no way. No way.
No way. So
Yeah.
that's a result of Sasuke. It's just so many ways he controls the plot. Right now, I would say he's the top of S for me.
Not to mention his actual. A lot of people like to like downplay his story and say, "Oh, he started the war just over his girlfriend or just over Rin."
No, he was tired of the ninja the way the ninja.
Yeah,
system.
he was. Tired.
Yeah, it was so much more build up than that.
Panel, when Kakashi asked, "Is this about Rin?" He said, "No, it's not. It's not. It's like a whole panel."
Yeah, he literally says, "This is if you think this is about Rin, you're wrong." Like. It's not. It's Rin was the snapping point. It was the breaking point. But there was so much more.
I made this parallel. Is it like, let's say you're having a bad day, like you had a bad day at school, you get an F on the test, and you come home and that piece of pie you've been waiting for is missing, and you just snap the fuck off.
Right.
Like you just had so many things go wrong, and then Rin, the girl that Kakashi said he was gonna protect, and you gave Kakashi your last eye over a boulder, and you basically entrusted Kakashi with your will to like protect people, and then you just see. In his sense, you see Kakashi just give Rin over. You're just like, what?
Yeah. He truly believed that he was in hell. He believed that this world was not real. It wasn't. There's no possible way that the world that they're living in could be the right world because it was just way too fucked up. So that's the whole reason he agreed with the Infinite Tsukiyomi plan, right? Because he believed that he was in hell.
Naruto, he wanted to be Hokage too.
Look, even more so than Gaara, Obito was what Naruto could have ended up with, like if he didn't have the people there supporting him, right? And the cool thing about Obito is that in the war, they there's a scene where Obito is trying to break Naruto's spirit. And he's trying so hard. He's so desperate to see if Naruto can break just like he did because he sees himself in Naruto and he thinks that if he can break Naruto, if Naruto can snap like he did, then it kind of validates his reasons for doing this. But Naruto doesn't break, which really like it kind of fucks him up. You know, that's the whole thing that leads to him kind of his redemption, which I think is really cool. Like how desperate he was just to break Naruto because Naruto is him, just not just in a different time, you know?
Yeah. Justification for what he did.
Yeah, and he really needed that.
It's like him and Sasuke are tied for me right now, man.
Like, I would say Obito is way up there. I like Pain better personally, but I think there's arguments can be made for top of S besides Sasuke wherever.
Oh yeah. All right. What about you? Where do you have him? Front of Pain, behind Sasuke, top of Sasuke. What about you?
I'd say probably atop of Sasuke in a way. Oh, actually, atop of Pain. I'd say atop of Pain.
You can put him between Pain and Sasuke there, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what okay, I think all the heavy hitters are gone now. That's good. Okay.
Do you wanna put Toby up there with him just because it's the same guy, or are we just gonna leave him?
Yeah. Just so people don't be like, what's going on?
Yeah.
All right. Good. They'll be like, damn, so many S tiers.
Naruto's got like the best villains in Shonen, man. I swear to God. So like, it's not surprising that there's a lot of S tiers, I think.
That is true.
I would agree. Here you go, man.
Let's go with Zetsu. Well, Zetsu's kind of on here twice, which is weird.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's so stupid.
I don't know why. But man, I'm not a fan of Zetsu. I'll be honest.
You want to do just the black version, like that's like this version?
We might as well just do what we did with Obito and just put them beside each other.
Honestly, in a sense, people could argue that he's S tier because he was manipulating.
See, that's the thing. He has the same sort of like he manipulated everything just like he was even manipulating Madara, who was manipulating Obito, who was manipulating
everyone,
manipulating by him, right? So in that sense, he does drive the plot, but I don't think it was
the same. He wasn't actively doing anything too.
I don't think it was told. Narratively speaking, I don't think it was presented very well. It was kind of like at the end, he just kind of popped up and he was like, psych, it was me the whole time, and it was like I get the shock value of it, but it wasn't like him betraying Madara.
It wasn't good shock value.
I think the idea was there and it was cool, but I think that Kishimoto kind of flopped on the execution of Zetsu.
Probably one of his biggest fumbles besides the war.
He's my least favorite Akatsuki member easily.
Oh, for sure.
He was in my eyes, and Akatsuki wise, he was just a strategist. Like he had any other value.
I wouldn't even say that. When did he ever strategize?
That is true. I mean, I really didn't know how to feel about him in Akatsuki, because in Akatsuki, I just felt like he was just there.
Yeah, he was there. He showed up in like recorded fights.
Yeah, healing power.
Yeah, I mean, and there was the whole like white Zetsu army and stuff, but like,
yeah.
Could we say? I would say, I don't want to be too disrespectful. Could I say C, like bottom of C?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'd say C.
What would you say?
I mean, that works. I mean, literally the only wow factor he has is that the fact he was the schemer behind.
Yeah, and there's no like real like build up or motive behind it other than the fact that he is Kaguya's will, so that's why he did it.
Yeah, that was literally it.
Y'all want to talk about this over here? I feel like we should.
We can talk about Kaguya.
Let's do Kaguya next, because she's right there.
Yeah.
You're an active bar, so watching a reader, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so this be interesting.
I hated Kaguya at first, and I think most of the hate towards Kaguya is that she took the spotlight away from Madara, who seemed like a better main villain for the series. Yeah. But I've grown to like Kaguya more than I did originally. I definitely don't think she's S, or probably not even A for me.
Right.
But I'm not like, see, the thing with me is that I think that like I'm not a really big fan of like the whole alien thing. Like, I don't know, like it just seems out of place in the world of Naruto, because I just kind of like the ninja and like ancient type vibes, and then they started bringing aliens in.
Now. That shit's going now.
As soon as Kaguya pops up, now we're in the realms of like godlike beings.
Yeah, and that kind of was a big downer on the series for me. But I think the idea of Kaguya is cool. I think that her being like the origin of all jutsu,
the godmother.
Yeah, and you can like see like how like what passed down to what people through her. Like if you see, she has like the bone ash, right? And that's clearly Kimimaru's clan, because they're the Kaguya clan.
Oh yeah.
And then the Sharingan and the Byakugan, you can see how everything passed down, right, from her lineage, and I think that's cool. I think it's cool to like have that, like have an origin and for it to be explained.
Yeah.
But I'm not really a huge fan of her like in general, and especially because she was really emotionless. Like she didn't really have much to her character other than she was. I think
it was so anticlimactic from Kishimoto's standpoint, because like you had building Madara up since like 2006, bro. Like,
yeah, and they didn't really beat Madara. That's the downer there. Like they never beat him. They just kind of he got betrayed by Zetsu, taken off guard, and they never. I don't know if they could have beaten him. It was just like, I wish that would have been seen through better. And I feel like all the blame kind of goes on Kaguya there. Like Kaguya. If I had to put a face to Madara's disappointment, it would be Kaguya.
I would probably say top of B, just because she is the god.
I would say B. Yeah.
I would also agree with B, just because Mother All-Chakra explains the origins of almost everything.
Yeah, she's very important to the story.
Even though that's fucking ass pull. But
yeah, I just mean like she just wasn't the greatest villain.
Would you guys agree with me in the sense I said top of B because she's like?
Honestly, I'd put her on the bottom of B.
I don't really. Yeah, I don't mind.
I like all the characters that we have in B. I like more than Kaguya.
Agree.
Sure.
I was just saying for like a story structure, like she was. Everything.
I suppose, yeah.
But like, if I really personally liked her, she probably would have ended up in D if I wasn't like how I really felt. But whatever. Rashid, I think it's your go now because we just lumped them together.
Yeah, is this guy from the movie?
Oh, I think he's from the movie.
Yeah, that's Tonere Otsutsuki.
I watched the movie. I don't remember shit from the movie.
I don't remember either, but let's get rid of Ten Tails.
How do you feel about the Ten Tails? Like,
yeah, I mean,
I have sort of the same feelings towards the Ten Tails as I do towards Kaguya. I think the concept is cool, but I don't like what the Ten Tails did for the series in terms of the combat and like where it led the series, because
it made it to get to the point of like alien world.
Yeah, it was just too large scale in my opinion. I liked when the series was a little bit more grounded. And then they kind of threw that out the window, like beginning of the war, end of the Five Kage Summit arc-ish era. But yeah, I mean, he's not really a character, right? I mean, he's a character, but you can't really put like he doesn't have personality.
I would say D. I would say D.
And plus,
honestly, I would put him lower than B just because he's not
I said D. I said D. Like D is in dog.
Oh, D. Yeah. Yeah, I would honestly put the Ten Tails in D too. It's not like he's more of an object than he is a character, you know?
I was, and the Ten Tails is literally just a combination of all the
other
tail piece, really.
Right.
Like, I'd say F because I mean, me personally, I say F, and then there was also the case that there wasn't like we didn't really get to see the full Ten Tails because the Nine Tails wasn't.
Yeah,
in,
okay, no, I'm going F too.
Yeah. All the Ten Tails really brought to the table was he's a big scary monster, right?
Yeah.
And there was a lot of like power, like really cool like power things, like the fucking beast bombs and stuff, but like it wasn't that interesting.
Right. It's your go, man.
It's my go?
Yes. No, it's my go?
Yeah, it's your go.
Okay.
I just went. Yeah,
we'll go with somebody actually.
I completely lost track of the order by now. But
I'll go with Datara. Like somebody actually matters in a sense. Datara, I think his first of all, his power is very useful for many reasons that we won't get into but his power is cool. He had a cool design. I think his I love the flashback when he tried to fuck with Itachi. That shit was amazing, bro. That was dope. The fact that he came into Garo's house, took that man. I know he had help, but he was part of kidnapping Garo in the first arc. Like that was pretty damn dope. He was a great introduction to like how the Akatsuki were set up, how powerful they were. I think he just reminds he's just like the cool version of an emo team, bro. Like he's mad cool. So for me, I would say B.
Yeah, and his fight with Sasuke was awesome.
His fight with Sasuke, he should have won. So yeah, I'm gonna go B.
Yeah, I'm putting him in B as well. I think he's a really personality-wise, I think he's really entertaining. He doesn't have a lot going for him in terms of backstory and what he wants to do. Like he wants to prove himself stronger than the Uchiha. That's really his main thing. And then there's the thing with his art being an explosion. He's just really obsessed kind of with like his art.
Yeah.
I like Sasori way more than Datara.
I would agree. He has more depth. I would say that for sure.
But I think that Datara also deserves to be in B somewhere as well.
I would say he's behind Kasame. But not ahead of Kaguya. Kaguya was ass.
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd put him in high C, low B, pretty much. That's where I'm at with him.
All right, man, it's your go.
Let's go with Hidan. Now, Hidan is my third favorite Akatsuki member. After Pain and Sasori, it's Hidan next. I love Hidan, and just like Datara, I feel like Hidan and Datara are very similar in the sense that they both don't really have a backstory or like a motive, they have motives, but not like a what's the word for a reason to have like how they got the way they are. They don't really have that. But Hidan is just so fucking entertaining. I would say he's more entertaining than Datara for me personally. He's just he's a psychopath and he's a masochist. He just loves pain, right? And I think that what he does for Shikamaru's character is really important. Like he he drives Shikamaru's character in that entire arc. I think that I don't know if we can give that to him as part of his character, but I think that he's very important to Shikamaru's story at the very least.
Right.
It's an impact. He has an impact to the story.
Yeah. And personality wise, I think he's awesome. He's like cocky. He's hilarious. He's
can't die technically.
Yeah, and his ability's so cool. Like he like does the curse mark circle thing and
that
stabs.
Man's like extreme religious. That man's like
I was about to say, he literally says he's some kind of cult, something I don't remember.
Like the cult of Jashin. All we know is that he pretty much killed like his whole village and shit, right? Because they did some ritual on him, and he was just like, all right, well, I gotta kill you guys all now. But I don't know. I can't really say much more about him other than that he's just really cool.
I would say, honestly, I would say top of C for me. Top of C. Yeah.
I'm gonna say bottom of B, just because I would personally put him above Kisame, above Datara, above Kaguya for me personally.
I was gonna say kind of above Kaguya and B. I mean, I like his character design completely. I mean, I wish there was more depth into him.
Not to mention that scene where he dies is so raw. It's more of a credit to Shikamaru thing, but where he's in the hole, right? And he's like yelling at Shikamaru from down in the hole and saying like, my Jashin will come for you, or I'll get out of this hole and I'll kill you. And Shikamaru looks down at him and he's like, you and I believe in different things. I believe in the will of fire. And that stupid god of Jashin or whatever isn't your god anymore. I am. And then he lights the thing and throws it. Man.
That was
one of my favorite scenes in the entire series.
Oh, no.
Rashid, it's your go, sir.
Oh, yeah. So, let's go with, since we're on the topic of Akatsuki, I can't remember her name.
Conan?
Yeah, Conan. I couldn't think of her name.
Female representation.
But her character design was cool. I mean, she didn't really do much. She was kind of sometimes just there. I can't remember exactly, but I really don't think she really did much. Or if she had any, she followed.
So that was cool. Yeah. Yeah. The thing with Conan is that she's cool. Like design wise is really cool. Her ability is so cool. Like the origami stuff, that's so sick. And her fight with Obito is one of my favorite fights in the series. It's really cool. But my issue with her character-wise is that she's more of just an accessory to Pain's story than she has her own story. So just because of that, she's kind of flat on like the story-wise. She's just like basically her whole story is like, yeah, I'm gonna help Nagato, and that's okay.
I would say ahead of Black Zetsu and C though. I would say C, but ahead of Black Zetsu for me.
I would put her in C personally. I prefer the Sound 4 over her.
Agreed.
And I think story-wise, they're kind of on the same level-ish.
Yeah.
So I would probably put her in C. Yeah. I think really all she has going for her is her really cool abilities.
Yeah, that's the crazy part. Because in my opinion, just based off her abilities and it's just a character design, other than that, I don't think there's any much to her. So that's, I mean,
like unless you count Pain stuff, but it's Pain stuff, not her stuff, right?
Yeah, she's just there because she knew them growing up and all that stuff.
Right, like she's just part of their story and not.
Yeah, so I was gonna put
her own story.
So Todd, you said top of D. I think we both said bottom of C. So
that works. Yeah.
Okay, it's my go. Let's go with this mafia dude, like the dude from
Gato.
I guess D. I mean, He's like a cool little villain or whatever, I guess.
Yeah, I'd say D just because he drives the bridge arc, and part of Zabuza's character is like he like clashes with Zabuza's character, right? He's like treating him like he's worthless and stuff like that.
Do we want to put like? I mean, it doesn't really matter.
I'd say bottom of D.
Yeah. Very bottom.
Yeah, because he had no like ninja skills whatsoever. So.
No, he's just a crime lord. Yeah.
Facts. Sure, go now.
My go.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go with. Might as well finish off the Akatsuki and go with Kakuzu.
About the first Hokage. He loves to talk about that.
Yeah, so Kakuzu. I don't know where I would put him.
Well,
I
favorite Akatsuki, honestly.
I like his abilities. I think his abilities are really cool.
Right.
Yeah, and he was paired with Edon because he was also immortal.
Right, he was paired with Hedon. It's funny because he used to kill his other partners. He'd get mad and kill them.
Yeah.
So they paired him with Hedon because he can't kill Hedon. He's immortal. So I think that's hilarious. I would, just because he doesn't really have much of a story either, other than like what happened with Kakuzu was that he was assigned to assassinate Hashirama, the first Hokage, and he failed. And when he failed, he returned to his village, and they're like, "What the hell, bro?" And they basically just kind of like cast him out. So he was like, "All right, fuck you guys." So that's his story, is that he his village kind of treated him like shit because he failed that mission. But other than that, he doesn't really have much going for him. Other than that, he's just one of those characters that's just really cool. That's it. I would honestly put him in C because I think he's above Conan. I think he might be above the Sound 4 for me. Mm-hmm. So he's either low. See, that's the thing. Now I'm conflicted because I keep seeing Kaguya up in B, and I definitely like Kakuzu way more than Kaguya.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, as a matter of fact, I like the Sound 4 more than Kaguya. But I either want to put him in low B or high C. I'll leave the decision up to you.
I'll say high C.
I also agree with high C, mainly because he does have an interesting character, and like it's like that with any show when there's a lot of characters. You can't get to everyone. There's not a lot of depth you can go into, which sucks.
Yeah. Some characters are just straight up cool, and that's it.
Yeah, I was about to say, because a lot of them are just sick as fuck, but like.
Yeah, high C.
Yeah, high C.
Okay, good. I'm not good. Whose go is it? Yours?
Yeah, it's mine.
I don't know who the fuck the rest of them are.
I know some of them, or I remember some of them.
I'm here for you if you need a refresher.
The Sound Ninja, those three, I do not remember whatsoever.
From the tuning exams?
Yeah,
Keenan, Saku, yeah.
Oh, they are from the tuning exam because that's people. Sasuke was like the curse mark was activated.
They were sent by Orochimaru to test Sasuke, and they were lied to because they thought they were there to become tuning into they knew they were there to test Sasuke, but they thought they were getting something out of it other than just being used, right?
Which one? These three?
Yeah, these three just got absolutely messed up by Sasuke. If I remember. Yeah, because Sasuke broke bones.
Yeah, he broke Zaku's arms. Keen lost to Shikamaru.
Can we just say F?
Dude, I love these guys.
Wow.
I don't think I can put them in F. I think they're better than the people in D. I'd say they're high D, low C for me. I think they're really cool. They all had backstories. You probably don't remember them because they're not they weren't in the series for long.
Yeah.
But they all had backstories of Orochimaru finding them and them being fucking nobodies, and him he brought them to his place and fucking modified them and shit.
I do remember the modifications though, but I do not remember their backstories like that?
Yeah, most of them were like homeless, like kids and scavengers and stuff that Orochimaru found and trained. So yeah, they were like they had nothing, and then Orochimaru promised them everything. But Orochimaru lied to them because he used Keen and Zaku as reanimation sacrifices for the Hokage. So he murdered them, and he was using Dosu to test Sasuke, and Dosu got killed by Gaara because he wanted to kill Gaara so that he could fight Sasuke, because he was that obsessed with proving himself to Orochimaru. He had an obsession with it. He really wanted to make he wanted to be useful to Orochimaru in the same sense that a lot of people that follow Orochimaru do. But I think their story is really interesting, that they were found by him, trained by him. He hyped them up, and he was like, all right, you guys are my champions to go into the Chunin exams. You guys are the only guys who can face Sasuke and test him for me. But really, he was just like, they were just so discardable to him.
Their pawns, yeah.
Yeah, I really did like their story. I like Dosu, the guy with the bandages on his face, more than the other two.
I remember him.
Yeah.
Here's what I would say. I would say Zaku and Keen in D and Dosu in low C. That's where I would put them.
I honestly I can agree with that, because I know these two were literally, I know, well, him talking about the background and all that stuff, I do remember that now. So
not to mention their abilities are all really cool with like the sound and shit. Like she has like strings with like bells on them, and then Zaku's got the air pipes that Shino fucked him up with.
Oh yes, most definitely.
I don't remember. I'm just gonna go off you guys because I don't remember.
Yeah, I was about to say it. What he said was fine. Yeah,
so D for those two, and then
C
for the other guy.
Would you have him above like these three? Like,
I personally would, but it's up to you. I don't know.
Would you? I don't really care.
I was about to say it don't matter either. I mean, like so far,
I think he's better than Zetsu, because I hate Zetsu.
I was about to say, so far from what you told me, he's already done more.
Which is yours?
Yeah, no, I was.
It's mine.
No, I was the one who went. Yeah, so it was your turn.
Shit, these are all like Baruto. This guy. You remember this guy?
He's not Baruto.
Hanzo, the salamander. He is the one that gave the legendary Sannin their title of Sannin.
That's dope.
He fought them in the second war or third war. It's a blur to me right now. But he's only in a flashback, and then he's also revived in the war, but he doesn't do much in the war.
You know, I always thought about why couldn't they revive my man Jiraiya? That dope.
Yeah, he was too deep into the ocean, apparently, according to Kabuto.
Oh,
he was like under water pressure that humans couldn't get to, he said.
Damn.
Yeah.
That sucks. All right, but yeah, I don't really remember him at all. So bottom of D.
I would put him in D too, because he is really cool. He summons a giant salamander, and he has like these like gas abilities and stuff, like poison gas and stuff. He's really cool, and he's got like a chain and a sickle. So he's another one of those characters that is just like cool.
But I'm gonna put him right here because he's better than the rest of them, just off of that. Just because he fought them. Just because he fought the Sannin. Like that has to be a dope.
And he fought the three Sannin to a standstill. So that's pretty crazy.
Yeah. All right, man. That's your go.
Let's go with
Is that Ashura or Indra?
That's Indra. Let's go with Indra there.
All right, bet. How you feel about Indra, man?
I think see, Indra's cool. Like Indra is important to the story, right?
Yeah.
Right.
But like outside of that, as a character, he's not that interesting. I don't think he's like, because he's not in the series, you know. He's like he's in a flashback, and then most of it's filler. So it's kind of like
he's like folklore type thing.
Yeah.
I guess
he's cool. He's cool, but he's just like he's pretty much just Sasuke, but less cool, you know. So
it's interesting that his reincarnation is cooler than him.
Yeah, both of his reincarnations are cooler than him. Yeah. I would put him in C. He gets a bump up from D just because he's super important and he is pretty cool, but I don't think that he's cooler than any of the characters we have in B. Well, maybe Kaguya, but I hate Kaguya.
Everyone does.
What about you, Rashid?
Like you said, I mean, at this point, Indra was mentioned. He is important to the story because the whole setup of the reincarnations and the personality, or this endless type of kind of conflict, or opposition and ideals, which I thought was interesting. But other than that, then there had nothing much is talked about, because Ashura is the main person like was even talked about or showed, and even
I'm going top of D. I'm going top of D.
Top of B?
D. I'm going top.
D.
Yeah.
Okay. I think he's cooler than Zetsu. I'll say that much.
I was about to say.
Oh yeah,
I was about to say. I'm gonna put him in. I'm gonna put him C.
I'd put him in C.
I'd be forgetting that Zetsu's in C.
Yeah.
That's why. Okay, yeah, I will put him in C just because he looks better than Zetsu.
Oh yeah, he literally looks like a copy paste of Sasuke.
He's pretty much just Sasuke with less story.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll put him would you put him over Bandage Dude?
Personally, no, but I could see why someone might.
Would you?
I just really like Dosu.
Whatever.
I'm biased there.
Rashid, your go.
Let's go with some Boruto figures.
I don't know anything about Boruto. So
I'm gonna go with the movie. This guy. I know he was in a movie in the beginning of the first.
Oh,
the 2015 movie.
Yeah, the Boruto. Yeah. That's Momoshiki. Yeah.
Is that the only time he shows? No, he shows in the anime. He shows in the anime.
He's very important in the anime. I don't want to spoil anything, but
I haven't watched it, so I don't.
I was about to say
he's he put like a karma on Boruto, so he's Boruto's like tailed beast almost. Like he's like the host, like Boruto's his host body that he's gonna reincarnate into.
Oh yeah, I do recall that. Momoshiki is the one that's in Boruto's seal, that if he's gonna take over or whatever his body or something like that. Because I know recently he showed up in the show.
He takes over Boruto's body like a few times in the series. He just recently did, if that's what you mean,
Yeah, okay. So then
I go on.
Yeah. I absolutely love in the movie. I absolutely love like the fight between Naruto, Helmet, and Sasuke. And
you should just real quick, you should even though you're not going to watch the anime, you should watch that fight, because they redid the whole movie in the anime.
Yeah,
you should watch that fight in the anime. They redid it. It's so much cooler. It's like way better.
Oh really? Oh.
Yeah, I would episode 65. Watch that. It's crazy.
I'm pretty sure I have, because I'm somewhere. I stopped somewhere in the show. I mean, the last thing I remember watching within Boruto was probably like the arc right before the whole time travel thing with Boruto.
Oh, okay. So yeah, you definitely seen that then,
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I have. I probably just can't remember exactly.
Yeah. But
in terms of Momoshiki, he's very important. Well, in the whole Boruto story, of course. And I did like his character, honestly. And he kind of had like I don't know what it was, but he had some kind of complex towards Sasuke and Naruto in a way. That's how I kind of felt.
In terms of the Otsutsuki clan, he's cooler than Kaguya, in my opinion. Yeah. His personality is really cool. He's very vain. Like he's very obsessed, like with I don't know how to describe it, with himself and like how powerful he is, and he kind of like looks down on everyone in like a very like snobby type of way. He reminds me of like an elf. If you ever seen like Lord of the Rings, like he acts like an elf acts, like very like high class and like looking down on everyone, and I think that's really cool. So I would put him in B, but like above Kaguya.
Yeah, because he's honestly one of the better Susuke clan members, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah. He's probably my favorite out of them, actually.
Because oddly enough, he has some depth. And then since we're on the topic of him, that's his
Kinshiki?
servant, right? I suck at names.
Who his partner there?
Yeah, his partner.
Yeah, that's Kinshiki, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, just on the topic of him, like I say we could also talk about him.
Yeah, definitely not as good as Momoshiki.
But most definitely. I mean, I did like the him fighting like the whole thing before we knew who he was, fighting Sasuke off in like the mountains or whatever.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was sweet. I especially loved like the whole thing with making weapons out of chakra or whatever. That was unique and cool. And I'm kind of a weapon fanatic myself. Not technically, it's just an interest, but I thought it was really cool. So
yeah, he's definitely like cool ability and like strength wise. I don't think he has a lot going for him personality wise or story wise, but
yeah, besides him saying he's there, he's kind of like the way I see him and like their partnership. I kind of see like Momoshiki as the young lord and him as the bodyguard or whoever.
Yeah,
kind of just assigned to raise him and look after him.
That's pretty much what it is, yeah. And Momoshiki's like way stronger than him anyways. Yeah, Momoshiki ends up eating him actually, turning him into a fruit and eating him,
the whole transformation thing.
Yeah, I would probably put him in low C.
Yeah, I was gonna say somewhere in C. I didn't know exactly where, but yeah, C.
Like worse than Zetsu?
I might put him at the bottom of C, to be honest.
This dude, right?
Yeah.
Okay, back.
And then two of them I do not know. The one from Naruto, the last, I barely remember him because that's the guy who tried to marry
Tonere. Yeah, so Tonere, he's not a full Otsutsuki. He's from Hamura's lineage. So Kaguya's other son, other than Hagoromo, was Hamura, right? And Hamura moved to the moon, and he is related to Hamura. So he's half human, pretty much.
Okay.
But he's from the Otsutsuki clan that's on the moon. And I have to rewatch the movie because it's been so long. But basically, I believe, if I remember correctly, he was trying to create the Tensagon, which was like the fucking upgraded Byakugan, pretty much. Yeah. It's basically the Renegon for the Byakugan.
Yeah.
You know? And to do that, he needed Hyuga. He needed Hinata, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or did Hinabi he kidnapped? I can't even remember. I need to watch that movie.
He chose Hinata as his wife, or whatever, because I mean, I believe this is the only time Hinata was like, Naruto probably won't get it, and kind of just walked away. And that's when Naruto was like starting to get more aware of his feelings for her or whatever. I kind of get that movie as more of like
it was meant to be like more of a love story, I think, between the two of them. But Tonere, I think, is cool, but I don't think he's like super cool. I might put him bottom of C as well.
Yeah. Wait, where did you say?
Bottom of C?
Oh, bottom of C.
That might be where I put him, I think. I don't know. I don't think he was that cool, but he is somewhat. I think he might be cooler than Kinshiki, in my opinion, just personality wise. I just don't think he's like. I wouldn't put him any higher than that.
he kind of had I don't know how to explain it, but he kind of was more like character-wise, if I remember this, or if just like the best way I could say it, kind of like Sai, not completely, but like a mix of Sai and Sasuke's personalities.
Like, he was. Yeah, I can see what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, so I have no better way to explain this.
Bottom of C.
I'd probably put him there. I'd say.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. Do anybody know the next?
I was about to say these other two. I know one's from Naruto, the other guy's from Naruto, but I do not remember.
So the guy from Naruto is Oboro. He's they meet him in the Chunin exams, and he like has like all the clones that are just illusions.
Oh.
And he fights Kabuto and Team 7, and they like have to like they fight him like all night because they're like wearing him down and stuff. And then it turns out that he's tired, but it was just Naruto's clones, and everyone was hiding. And then they just own him. But yeah, he's not that cool. I think bottom of D, I'd probably put him. I think he's definitely better than those two Stone Ninja, but like he's not that cool. You could put him top of F, bottom of D. I don't know, something like that.
I mean,
you make the call.
yeah, top of F is fine.
All right, what about this dude? You can get
yeah, I was about to say, yeah, you can do it.
So this is Shin Uchiha. And the funny thing is I'm doing an arc review of this arc right now because I'm rewatching Boruto and doing the reviews of the arcs.
Yeah.
So this guy's been on my brain lately. Like I've literally just before I came to this video, I was writing about him. So he's fresh in my mind right now. Honestly, I think he's really cool. A lot of people hate him. Basically, what his thing is he was Donzo's arm, right? You know, his arm with all the eyes was actually it came from this guy. It was his arms that they cloned. So it's because this guy is an Orochimaru test subject, right? Someone that Orochimaru found, and his body you can integrate any genetic material into his body without it rejecting, which is why they're able to put the Sharingans in him, because his body doesn't reject them. It adapts to them. Yeah. So Orochimaru used him to create Danzo's arm. But his whole thing is after he left, he left Orochimaru, and his whole thing is evolution. His whole thing is that without conflict, the world can't evolve. We'll get weak. And his whole thing in Boruto is that the world has become weak. And he wants to revive the Akatsuki. He wants to restart the Akatsuki because he believes that the Akatsuki were one of the driving factors that kept the world evolving, that kept the conflict in the world, right? So he's got like an Akatsuki cloak that's like not the same as theirs, but it's like shorter than theirs. It looks pretty cool. But he wants to revive the Akatsuki, and he's obsessed with Itachi. He doesn't actually know Itachi or like what he was really about. He thinks Itachi was like all for the Akatsuki and stuff like that, but he's obsessed with the Uchiha and he's obsessed with Itachi, and he wants to kill Sasuke because he believes that Sasuke is a disgrace to the Uchiha clan for killing Itachi. Oh, yeah. But really, he knows nothing about Itachi.
He doesn't know the real history.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's pretty cool. I think he's all about like also I should mention he has clones of himself, right? Hundreds of these clones, and they're like little kids, these little kid clones, and they all have
Sakura kicked one in an episode. I remember that.
Yeah, they all have the Mangekyo Sharingan, including him. And his ability is actually to control weapons and stuff like that. So he'll put his mark on something and he can control it. So he's like controlling all these knives and stuff like telekinetically. He's pretty badass. I won't lie.
Besides the 3 eyes on his forehead,
he's got eyes all over his body, dude.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's a freak. He's an absolute freak.
Another creep factor.
But what happens is his clones turn on him, right? Because he's all beat up after fighting Sasuke. He's like he's missing a leg and an arm, and he's laying there, and he tells all his clones to attack them, and his clones turn around and stab him, and he's like, "What the hell are you guys doing?" And they're like, "You taught us that weakness needs to be discarded because you need to evolve, right?" They're talking about evolution. So he fucked himself over by teaching all the clones that, right? Because once they seen that he was weak, they were like, you're not the apex anymore. You're not the one that's going to evolve. We are. So then they killed him. But then they end up convincing the clones to turn a new leaf. Naruto ends up convincing them and stuff. And the clones actually get sent to Kabuto in Kabuto's orphanage that Kabuto runs now, right?
Yeah.
So Kabuto has pretty much an army of these Mangekyo Sharingan wielding kids, and it's never mentioned again in the series, but it's really insane. But anyways, Shin, I think, has a really cool like concept. I think that him having all these Sharingan, being obsessed with Itachi, but not really knowing the true story.
Yeah.
And then his abilities and like his whole philosophy of evolution and everything's about genetics. He thinks that parental love, he doesn't have any love for his clones because he thinks that love is weakness and that it's all about the genetics. All he's seen his clones were just a means to organ replacements was basically what he was using them for. So like if he needed to replace an organ, he'd cut one of them open, kill them, and take it. So he's really fucked up. But honestly, I think a lot of people hate him. I think he's really cool. I would put him in at least B.
Yeah. Like above
probably the it's hard to say. I really like Hidan, so I don't want to, but I think he's got more to him than Hidan. I would put him probably between Kisame and Deidara. And a lot of people are not going to like that. I'll tell you that much. I think I've got an opinion on him, and I think he's cool.
Yeah, I mean, from what you've said, he sounds pretty cool. I mean, it kind of sucks that I really don't know much about him.
He's actually not from the Boruto manga. He's from Naruto Gaiden, which was a 1-volume manga that Kishimoto wrote that comes out. It's called the Naruto Gaiden, the Seventh Hokage, and the Scarlet Spring. It's just a 1-volume thing that Kishimoto wrote. So that's probably why he's cooler. Yeah. Because he does feel like a Naruto Kishimoto written villain because he is. Yeah. So yeah.
Most definitely. That sounds cool. I mean
well, we did our tier listing, man. Probably it's like a smooth 2 hours.
Sometimes I talk too much about Naruto.
So man, that's all good because he said some stuff I probably wouldn't remember.
Remember. So let me stop this share and we can get out of here. You can plug. So tell the people where they can find you at on your platforms, man.
Sorry, you were lagging out. I didn't.
I was saying tell them where you can find them on all your platforms.
YouTube. T-Bry Sensei. Look up T-Bry Sensei. It's probably in the description. I would hope. I got you. Yeah. I'm also on Twitter, T-Bry1, Instagram, whatever. If you go to my YouTube channel, you'll see all my links. But if you don't like Naruto, you're probably not gonna like my channel because I just pretty much make Naruto videos. Right. Occasionally the other anime and manga stuff, but I cover Naruto and Boruto extensively. So, yeah.
Okay. Well, me and Rishi both appreciate you coming on. It was a blast talking about Naruto.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me. I love talking about Naruto like anytime. I don't care who it's with. I'll just go off.
Really appreciate it. Again, you guys, I will have a link in the description for all your plugs. And hopefully you guys enjoy this episode. Subscribe. Find us on Instagram and Gensho. You can find Rashid at rncdark on Twitch and Instagram, and you can follow his photography page at eyes.offthe.lens. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Comment down below. Are we tripping? Too many S tier women. Are we tripping? Do we not?
Ain't no way.
Do we not know Naruto? I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Stay safe. Out. Peace.